It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, December 13th, 2025. Many students at Brown University were focused on their final exams. The campus in Providence, Rhode Island, was calm. Students were writing, thinking, and hoping for good grades. But this calm did not last. Suddenly, terrible gunshots echoed through the air. The shots came from inside the Barris and Holly Engineering Building. This large building held many classrooms and labs. It was full of students because of the exams. First, people felt a deep shock. They could not believe what they heard. Confusion quickly took over. Students looked around, eyes wide, asking, "What was that?" and "Is this real?" Soon, whispers turned into screams. Fear spread fast, turning calm study time into pure panic. Students and staff ran, pushing past each other, looking for a safe place to hide. This event was incredibly serious. It was the third major university shooting in America in only a few days. This showed a very big problem, a national crisis affecting many schools. It made people everywhere wonder if any campus was truly safe. Quickly, the university sent an urgent message. It was the first emergency alert for everyone on campus. It stated clearly an active shooter was near the Barris and Holly building. However, at the same time, different and unclear messages started to appear. People received confusing and sometimes wrong information. This made them more afraid and unsure.
Nobody knew exactly what was happening, creating terrible worry. Then, a final terrifying alert flashed across every phone and computer screen. The message was short but urgent. Active shooter on campus. Run, hide, fight. The dangerous hunt for the person with the gun had begun. But the shooter was like a ghost. No one knew who they were, what they looked like, or where they were going. The university was in great danger, and the attacker remained unknown and at large. 2. A Saturday afternoon. Saturday, December 13th, 2025, began as a normal day for Ferraro. She was a student at Brown University. She worked on her final project in the Barris and Holly building lobby. The building was busy. Many students were taking their final exams. The air was calm, filled only with the quiet sounds of study. At 4:10 in the afternoon, Ferraro heard loud, sudden noises. They came from the east side of the building. She quickly understood they were gunshots. A cold fear gripped her. She did not wait to see more. Ferraro ran away as fast as she could. She found a safe place inside a building nearby. She stayed hidden there for many long hours, listening and waiting, not knowing what was happening outside. In minutes, the university campus changed completely. Police officers arrived in great numbers, wearing special tactical gear and carrying rifles. Many ambulances also came, lining up along Waterman Street.
The area around the engineering building quickly turned into a scene of urgent activity, like a war zone. First responders created special areas on Waterman and Thayer Streets to help victims and coordinate efforts. Police began a detailed and difficult search of the large building, floor by floor. At about 5:11 in the evening, a confusing message spread. Brown University sent an emergency alert to everyone. It said that a suspect had been taken into custody. For a short time, students and parents felt a brief sense of relief. They thought the immediate danger had passed. However, this relief quickly vanished. Just minutes later, the university sent another message. The first report was wrong. The person detained was not the shooter. The real killer was still at large. This new information brought back a wave of fear and uncertainty. President Donald Trump had also posted on social media about a suspect being caught. He then had to correct his statement after receiving updated information from Brown University police. The situation was tense and unclear. The confusion and fear grew even more.
At about 5:30, Brown University issued yet another urgent alert. It reported new shots fired near Governor Street. This street was only 2 blocks away from the first shooting. Had the shooter escaped the campus and moved to a new location? Was this a completely different attack? Or was it something else entirely?
The campus and the city were in chaos again, and no one knew what to believe. The shooting happened inside the Barris and Holly Engineering Building. This was a very large place on the Brown University campus. It had 7 floors and measured 220,000 square feet. The building was home to the university's School of Engineering and its physics department. Built in 1965, it contained many rooms and spaces. Inside, there were 117 laboratories, 150 offices, 15 classrooms, 29 laboratory classrooms, and 3 big lecture halls. This design made it like a complex maze. Because of its sprawling layout, it was extremely difficult for emergency responders to secure the area quickly. Searching every part of the building for the shooter or hidden victims was an enormous and time-consuming task. The attack had a very sad human cost. 2 people lost their lives due to the gunfire. Additionally, 8 other people suffered gunshot wounds. These victims were seriously hurt and needed urgent medical care. All 8 wounded individuals were transported quickly to Rhode Island Hospital. Doctors and nurses there worked hard to save them and help them heal. At this time, the names of those killed and injured were not released to the public. Their families were still unaware of the terrible event that had struck their loved ones. Many parents and friends across the country waited, full of worry and fear, for any news about their children. While the wounded were rushed to the hospital, the person who fired the shots was still at large. This shooter was described as a male dressed completely in black. He had disappeared from the Barris and Holly building, the place he had turned into a scene of violence. The police continued their search, but the killer had seemingly vanished without a trace. He was like a ghost, having left the building but leaving behind deep sadness, fear, and many unanswered questions for the university community. The hunt for the shooter started at once. Many police groups worked together. The Providence Police Department was in charge. The Rhode Island State Police, the FBI, and the ATF also gave their help. Brown University's own police joined the big search. They faced a very difficult task. They had no idea who they were looking for. There was no picture of the person, no video, and no name at all. This made their job much harder. The only information they had was a short description. Witnesses said the shooter was a man. He was dressed completely in black clothes. Deputy Chief Timothy O'Hara spoke for the law enforcement teams. He admitted they did not know how the man got inside the Barris and Holly building. They also had no idea what kind of gun he used. Investigators immediately started looking for security camera videos from the university and nearby streets. They hoped to find an image of the person to identify him. Time was running out, making the hunt a race. Police quickly set up a very large perimeter around the campus. They also closed many nearby streets. This stopped people from entering or leaving the area easily. Many police officers in tactical gear began to search buildings carefully, floor by floor. They looked through every door and every dark corner. Under the cover of night, they went door to door in the surrounding neighborhoods. They shone flashlights on parked cars and checked trash bins. They wanted to find any sign of the man who had caused so much fear. The shooter was last seen leaving the engineering building from its Hope Street side. After that, his path was unknown. Police did not know how he got away. Did he run into the dark city streets? Did he use a car? Finding his escape route and method was a major puzzle for the ongoing investigation. Hours passed by, and the city remained in lockdown. The silence was heavy. People were told to stay inside their homes, safe from the unknown danger. The massive search continued, but the police found no new clues. The trail of the shooter was growing cold, making it harder to track him. Investigators had to think about a terrifying possibility. Was this shooting a random act of violence, with victims chosen by chance? Or was a specific person, or even a whole department inside the engineering building the intended target? This question hung in the air, making the urgent hunt even more worrying. A community in fear. The city of Providence felt cold and heavy with fear. After the terrible shooting, people's thoughts went beyond just the police looking for the attacker. They focused on the deep pain and worry now spreading through the community. Brown University's president, Christina Paxson, made a public statement. She said it was a deeply sad day for Brown, for all the families touched, and for the local area. She explained there were no words strong enough to show the sorrow everyone felt for the victims of the shooting. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley also spoke to the public. He promised that the city was using every single resource to find the person responsible. He asked everyone to pray for the victims' families, especially with the Christmas holiday near. Mayor Smiley knew the coming days and months would be very difficult for the community as it tried to heal. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee added his voice, stating simply, "The unthinkable has happened." He also mentioned that his office had been in touch with the White House and leaders in other states who had faced similar tragedies. Students across campus were locked in their dorms or hiding places, feeling scared and uncertain. Many stayed hidden for many hours, not knowing if they were safe.
Far away, parents experienced terrible agony, desperately trying to get information. They faced confusing news reports and waited anxiously for updates about their children. The psychological impact of this tragedy would remain with the Brown community for months and years to come. Earlier in 2025, a legal case started a big discussion about Brown's campus police department. This lawsuit claimed that the campus police had a culture of secrecy. It said they focused more on protecting the university's reputation than being open and clear. One former officer described the department as the Queen's Army, suggesting it worked to keep problems hidden inside the Brown bubble, away from public view. This past lawsuit now made people ask serious questions. Did this culture of secrecy mean important information was not shared? Could it have played a part in the sad events of that day? As the university administration worked hard to manage the crisis, these claims from the lawsuit hung heavy in the air. They suggested there might be more to this story than a random attack, raising troubling questions about what the university might have known beforehand. 6. A national problem. The shooting at Brown University was not alone. It was the third big shooting at an American college campus in only a few days. This showed a sad pattern across the country.
Just 4 days before, on December 9, 2025, a student died at Kentucky State University. Another was hurt. Police quickly caught the suspect, Jacob Lee Bard, a 48-year-old parent. Kentucky's Governor, Andy Beshear,
said this attack was not random. It was about a personal argument. Earlier in 2025, Florida State University also had a tragedy. In April, 2 people died and 7 were hurt. Police shot and killed the 20-year-old suspect, Phoenix Ickner, in 3 minutes. These events showed colleges are open places, making them easy targets. Even with many security rules, gun violence was a big problem. In 2025, there were fewer mass killings than in recent years. About 17 happened by early December, the lowest since 2006. Experts said this was a return to normal numbers, not a true fix. Criminologist James Allen Fox said numbers sometimes go down after rising. Mass shootings, where 4 or more people die in a day, are a small part of all gun deaths, but they create great fear, especially at schools. The Kentucky shooting made police wonder about the Brown case. Was the killer someone with a personal reason, or was it a random act by a stranger? This question was very important. Its answer would change the whole search. As experts discussed violence, the hunt in Providence continued. Police needed a lead. Soon they would get their first big break from an unexpected place.
A wall of silence. The terrible shooting at Brown University made people think deeply about campus safety. Universities want to be open places for learning and sharing ideas, but this openness also makes them hard to protect. This creates a big challenge: how to be open and secure at the same time. This conflict between academic freedom and security protocols is hard to solve. Many people began to question Brown University's choices. There was already a legal case against its police department. Former officers sometimes called it the Queen's Army. They said the police worked to keep problems hidden, protecting the university's reputation, or the Brown bubble. This meant they might not share all important information, especially if it was not good news. This idea made many in the community feel uneasy and suspicious. This mistrust grew after the university made a big mistake during the crisis. At first, they quickly announced that the shooter was caught. This brought a moment of relief and hope to many. But minutes later, they changed the news. They said the first report was wrong and the shooter was still free. This caused much fear, panic, and confusion. It made people wonder if the university was hiding other details or not being fully honest. Was protecting its image more important than giving accurate information for public safety? As the investigation continued, more questions about the university's past came up. The lawsuit suggested that hiding information was a common practice for the campus police. This led investigators to ask a very serious question. Had Brown University known about a threat before the attack happened? Was there a warning, perhaps about the engineering department or a specific student, that they simply chose to ignore? This was a very serious question that needed a clear and honest answer. The search for these answers led to a shocking discovery. Investigators found a crucial piece of evidence that changed everything. It was a deeply disturbing email sent directly to the campus security team. This email had arrived just 2 weeks before the shooting took place. It gave a very clear warning of a potential threat to the campus. Someone working for security read the email. It was then placed in a file, but after that, nothing else was done. The important warning was simply read, filed, and ignored. This finding seemed to confirm the worst fears. The university might have had a real chance to stop the tragedy, but it failed to act on a vital warning. The shooting at Brown University on December 13, 2025, changed many things. It truly ended the idea that a rich, famous Ivy League school was safe from harm. People had always believed that such a respected place offered strong protection, but on that sad day, this belief was shattered. The peaceful feeling of the campus was lost forever. The tragic events in Providence were not just about finding a gunman. They showed deeper problems in American society. Even if the person who fired the shots was caught, the larger issue remained. How can colleges truly protect their students and staff? This question had no simple answer. It pointed to a very difficult problem for all universities in the United States. It seemed like an issue with no easy solution that will need long talks and hard work to address. The shooting left deep, painful scars on everyone. Students, teachers, and staff felt fear, sadness, and anger. The whole Brown community now had to live with these hard feelings. The entire nation also had to think about what happened. How can we stop these terrible acts from happening again? What can be done to keep more lives from being lost in the future? This story is much more than a simple hunt for a killer. It is about how society faces the problem of violence. It is about tough questions that do not have clear answers. The tragedy made everyone face a hard truth. No place, not even the most honored university, can be perfectly safe. The future holds many challenges for American higher education. They must find ways to protect their students while still keeping their open and welcoming spirit. This is a big challenge, as universities want to be open for learning, but this openness can also create risks. Brown University is a very good school, but even its resources could not stop the violence. This means that many other schools with less money face an even bigger challenge. The event made everyone understand that colleges are very special, but also very easy to hurt. They are open places for learning, but this openness also makes them vulnerable. This ongoing tension between keeping campuses open and making them secure is a central part of the unanswered question. The Brown community will need much time to heal. It also needs to find new ways to prevent future sorrow. These questions are many, and they are very complex. What single security measure do you think is most effective for preventing tragedies like this on college campuses?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.